Okay, it's time for part 3. And the night before October 4th, 1982, my mom told me to keep my clothes near my bed because she knew something was gonna happen. Okay, this is actually Tom. I accidentally put this picture of me and Pete and Tom on the pic day on the page celebrating Kelly's birthday. Reno and Tita, me and the boys, Pete and Kelly and Tom and Kelly. When I asked why, she said it was because she was pretty sure we were leaving for the hospital sometime in the night. When I woke up, they were already getting dressed. Pete was so stressed, he accidentally put his leg in the armhole of his red union suit. I laughed at him as he hopped around, but he didn't think it was very funny. Pete, Mom, Tommy, and I all crowded into the cab of our old pickup truck for the long drive to the hospital. The roads were icy, so Pete had to drive carefully. Oh, I love that picture so much. I love that one too. Kelly in an upside down wooden stool and me and Tom in the big chair. The roads were icy, so Pete had to drive carefully, but he was also hurrying because Kelly was coming fast. Mom held my hand and squeezed so hard that every time she had a contraction, I had to fight to keep from crying. I was also so scared I thought I was going to throw up, but I knew we didn't have time to pull over, so I kept it down. As we got near the hospital, Mom yelled, "I can feel his head coming out." I kept Tommy busy in the waiting room while Mom and Pete went in with the doctors. We didn't have to wait long because Kelly was born within minutes of getting to our hospital. Our mom was the first to have a natural birth following a C-section at that hospital, which was a pretty big deal then. So it was 1982 in Homer. And yeah, the hospital was about 15 miles away, a lot of the road not being paved. So it was about a 45-minute drive under normal conditions. Kelly loved his juice bottles and his big brother. Laying on, or that might be Tom laying on Tita, I'm not sure. Kelly loved to play with Tom's ear while he drank his juice bottles. Now we're giving both the kids a bath. I just thought it was funny to throw that picture in there with the deer, because subsistence lifestyle, that's what we did. Let's see, my best friend Melody lived a few miles away, and we would ride her horse over to the place so that we could ride around the field behind our house. I went to the Anchor Point rodeo with her once, and we did the rescue race. I was riding a huge horse, a cross between a quarter horse and a Belgian. I could barely get my legs around her. I was supposed to ride as fast as I could, pick Melody up, and we would race back to the start. The horse bucked me off in the middle of the arena, which was pretty embarrassing, and Melody was furious. Oh look, that's when I still had my front teeth. That's probably what I was wearing when I went down the sled hill. There's my moon boots. And that's probably Tom, I don't know, one of the kids on the horse. That's not the quarter horse with me and Melody, but oh, and then this is the pea ditch story, which I've already read before. That's another video. Okay, so this is a picture. Let's see. Oh, there's the sweater I was wearing. Oh, my hair is covering the Jordache horse. This has been Kelly's birthday. The boys are dressed as Santa. This is the story of why Kelly is wearing that huge bandage on his head. That's our Dachshund. The cabin was set in the muddy part of the property, so Pete sunk large rounds of wood in the ground for us to walk on to get around to the back of the house. One day, we were playing outside and Kelly's boot got stuck in the mud, which caused him to fall forward really hard. He hit his forehead on the edge of one of the rounds, cutting his forehead very deeply. As he looked up at me in surprise, just before he started screaming, I was able to see the white of his skull. Then the bleeding started. It was awful. Mom loaded us all into our orange Datsun, oh, that car, for the long drive to the hospital to get stitches, and Kelly still has a scar over his eye. The outhouse was around the back of the cabin, which seemed like a really long way when I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Well, this is a different story. Sometimes I wouldn't mind it, because once in a while I was greeted by the amazing sight of the northern lights. The sheets of color waving across the sky would be beautiful greens, yellows, reds, and blues. I never knew how long they would last, so So I usually stood there in my nightgown until I was shivering so much I was forced back inside to rush to my bed and warm back up. One night, I put off going outside as long as I could because it had been snowing all day, which meant I wouldn't be able to see the trail to the outhouse. It wouldn't be so bad, except that meant the snow would be really deep and I couldn't see the bridge. Pete had dug a deep trench for drainage and put a bridge across it to the outhouse. Guess what? I missed the bridge and ended up in snow up to my armpits. I remember wishing I had taken the time to get fully dressed because not only did I still need to go pee, but now I had to swim out of the deep powdery snow to get to the outhouse. Here's what I'm not saying. I didn't go out to the outhouse in the middle of the night to go pee. I just would pee out in the bush, in the snow drift right by the front of the door. I had to poop or I wouldn't have been going out there. All right, so here's a bunch of school pictures. Mom let me dress myself, pretty young. Evidence here. I kind of bummed, that's my freshman, this one is freshman high school. I think this is 7th or 8th grade. I think this is 6th grade. One of my favorite ones was I'm wearing like 6 shades of green or some shit like that. I don't know where that photo is, but yeah. The end. Thanks for joining me.